Well, good afternoon, Chattanooga, and good afternoon, Tennessee. Good afternoon, United States of America. This is what's happening in your neck of the woods, and I am your talk show host, Dr. Elenora Woods, and we are going to be talking about some serious family business. As you all know, we've got wars raging all around the world with the United States, and we also have a war raging right here in the United States with the latest Supreme Court ruling gutting the second chapter of section of the Civil Rights Voting Act of 1965. And you all, we have a house, a roof, and everything on fire in our own United States of America. And here today, I'm proud to tell you that while all these fires are going on, we have some real warriors putting the fire out. That is the Chattanooga National Action Network, the Middle Tennessee National Action Network, the West Memphis National Action Network, and all of the National Action Network chapters around the country under the auspices of the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. With us here today, we have representation from the Tennessee chapters of the National Action Network, starting with Memphis, and also starting with Nashville, Middle Tennessee, and yes, yours truly, the Chattanooga National Action Network. So today, we're going to get started. We're going to dive right in, y'all, because this is a serious matter. So go ahead with the first video as we show the struggles that our ancestors fought for many years, decades, to get the Voting Rights Act. Lives were lost, blood was shed. I mean, it was a struggle. And it wasn't just our ancestors. These were people from all over the world that came together for the Voting Rights Act that is now being gutted. So go ahead with the video. We're just going to kind of show you all where we come from.
For the right to vote. Today, thousands follow in their footsteps, not just to honor and remember them, but to show that all these years later, there's still work to be done. On the Edmund Pettus Bridge today, you could hear singing, the crowd chanting, and see thousands of people marching. While this scene looks different than the one 6 decades ago, foot soldiers like Annie Pearl Avery say she is still fighting for equal rights today.
We stopped working. We got comfortable. And we're back in the same shape we were in almost then, except we're a little bit more knowledgeable. Most of us are. And I think at this time, we're going to fight harder.
New generations say they're.
Yes. So that's kind of to give you a little bit of background on where we came from. And today we have the illustrious pastor from Memphis, Tennessee. Are you on the line? Because we want to kind of show your face and a little bit about you so people can know who you are, Pastor Caldwell. Can you hear us? He's saying he can't hear us, Michael, but he's on the air now. He can't hear us. So we're working on your mic. Yes. So Michael, can you get Pastor Caldwell mic set up so we can hear him? Okay.
I can't hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now in the studio. I just heard you, Michael. I heard him saying he could not hear me. So it's coming through inside the studio, but he can't hear me talking at all. I can hear him, but he cannot hear me. So Michael, we're having a little technical difficulties this morning. So we are trying to get Reverend Keith Caldwell from Memphis, Tennessee, who's very much a part of the struggle with the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So we are waiting. While we're working on the technical difficulties on that end, can we bring Sheryl Huff? Let's see, we're going back to Caldwell. Can you hear us now? No, he still cannot hear us, Michael. Okay. All right. Michael, yes. Sheryl, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very loud and clear. We were having technical difficulties with Pastor Keith Caldwell. So we are switched from him to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the illustrious Madam President, Regional Director of the Tennessee National Action Network, Madam Sheryl Huff, who is on the ground, 10 toes down, all boots on the ground, working, has been in Nashville, stirring up the pot that they turned on the eye, but they turned the eye on, but she turned the heat up, and she is stirring it up. Welcome, Sheryl Huff, to what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for having me. I am so glad to be here and to have my friend, my minister, my brother, Keith Caldwell, and our president in Memphis, Patrice Lurry, to come on with us. We are in the midst of all of this drama and mess that's happening in Memphis with the legislative coming in and getting a phone call from whoever his name is and telling Bill Lee, we need you to give us a seat. So he did exactly that. He went in and ran a railroad through the neighborhood. We only had just that one congressional seat left, and we had Justin Pearson running in that seat. They are afraid of this young man. And that's why I said we have to get our young people. They are afraid. And it took all of that to get rid of one person. It took all of that. So because now here we are, we can't worry about what happened because it's done happened now. Now we gonna really put boots on the ground and get out there and do what we have to do. And what we have to do is go into all of those areas that just been divided, and go and wake everyone up. We gotta wake them up hard. We have to get them to understand and know what's happening and see what they just did, and it's gonna backfire. It's going to backfire on them. Everything that's happening is going to backfire on them. I have confidence. I know my ancestors did not fight, struggle, and do all of that they did all these years for us to be right here at this time, and we go lay down. We're not laying down. We're not giving up. We're not going to stop. We got to fight. We going to fight.
Amen. Amen. I said the same thing. And one of the things, can you hear us, Pastor Caldwell?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome, Pastor Caldwell. Yes, from Memphis, Tennessee, in the struggle, 10 toes down, all boots on the ground, fighting with not just NAN, but fighting for this country, to save our democracy. And I am so happy that you have joined us here on WPTP 100.1 FM radio, which, by the way, is being broadcast nationally and internationally all around the world. You can also watch this wherever you're from. You can watch this, and we're live right now, but it will be uploaded on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for you to go back and watch it and study the video. Make sure you send this out to all of your friends and family and communities to go back and watch. Before you came on, Pastor, what Madam President Sheryl Huff from Middle Tennessee was saying was that what they did in Memphis to basically redraw the map and gerrymander the map is what we call it, and cut Justin Pearson out of the district, the only one district that was I call it a minority district, cut him out, leaving Memphis with basically no representation for minorities. So we are angry about it. The Supreme Court ruling that came down April the 29th in Louisiana set precedent for what all the other states are now jumping on board and doing, which is to pause the election, allow them to redraw the maps. And at that time, once the map is redrawn, reset what is going on right now, which is the voting. Voting is going on right now, but they're pausing the vote, allowing them to change the maps. And then when they change the map, people like Justin Pearson, who is a representative who's been fighting a long time for this congressional seat, was basically cut out of the opportunity to do that. That in itself is racist. And we are fighting for this to be overturned. I understand. If you would just kind of give us a
Yeah.
background on that situation.
Yeah, so good to see you again, Dr. Woods, and my good friend, Madam President Sheryl Huff. We've worked extensively together through the NAACP for prior to now, and still are doing some amazing work. But what we see is, as you talked about, this gerrymandering that is grounded in the brutal legacy of white supremacy, right? So we have two things we have to do at once. One is that this past Tuesday night, I was at a community meeting, and folks, they were just saying, how do we make sense of this this kind of strong arming that's taking place, because this redistricting should only happen in the year of a census. So we were looking at 2030 that this would happen. And
Yes.
so to speed this up in order to beat the November elections, because gas has jumped almost $2 a gallon since we've been in an illegal war, and many other factors. We even have a governor who has cut $84 million from the children's summer feeding program, which is cruelty in itself. That's going to adversely impact 700,000 children in Tennessee. So just to give you context, we only have 7 million in the population of the state of Tennessee. So 10% are children who need that summer feeding program. And this cruelty is across the board, right? And while it is intended to hurt, since the largest African-American population is in West Tennessee, but you're going to hurt children in Appalachia and all across this state. So Dr. King talked about, I pastored the historic Centenary United Methodist Church, where Reverend Jim Lawson invited King to Memphis in 1968 around the sanitation workers. And Reverend Lawson was part of the SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and their motto was to save the soul of a nation. And what we see is a nation who is sin sick, whose soul needs to be saved. So while we are working on this policy, we also need to understand that this is much bigger, and it is spiritual warfare also that we're working against.
All right. I wanted to tell the audience out there, I had an opportunity to go live on the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton's a show 2 days ago, and he will be here in Tennessee. We talked about not only the roof being on fire in Tennessee, but the whole house is burning down, and that we needed his support. We have 4 chapters here now in Tennessee, from Memphis to Jackson to Nashville or Middle Tennessee to Chattanooga. And we desperately need his presence and direction. And he needs us to help pull this together to save our democracy. He will be here. He didn't say it was going to be a month or two. He said soon. We are planning now for those dates when he will be here in Tennessee. We are high on his list and the priority to come into Tennessee. So he will be here, and we're getting ready for him. So Memphis, Nashville, Chattanooga, we will have our leader here to help guide our communities and the whole state of Tennessee for that matter. And we do have a plan. It is working the plan and putting the plan together in the hands of people like you, Pastor Caldwell, and Madam President Sheryl Huff, and others who are in this fight for democracy. So we have that in place. We are pulling together a coalition. When I say a coalition, I'm talking about the National Action Network. I'm talking about the NAACP. I'm talking about the Jewish Confederacy. I'm talking about the Latino population. I'm talking about the LGBTQ community. I'm talking about all the Asian community. all of the community. This is not a one-man fight. This is a coalition of people trying to save the democracy, and we're going to work together. That is the message. We're going to work together. We're not going to let 1% of our country take down democracy, and then the other fragment of the population that just don't know who they are, where they're going, take down the population. We're going to fight back like our ancestors fought, and I know we understand that. Sheryl definitely understand it, being in the thick of where everything is going on in Nashville. Sheryl, I know Memphis came to Chattanooga with busloads of folks this week, were present in the State House from all over the state of Tennessee to converge. And can you give us a little synopsis of what that was like?
Hey, Dr. Woods, before I do that, I wanted to ask Keith, can you tell us what's the temperature now that's happening in Memphis?
Yeah.
And can you give us a little more information about the seat that was
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so what we're done, the idea of saving democracy, it's bigger than that. We're working to save the soul of a nation, because democracy and what's been happening with the Supreme Court and how partisan it has become, we even understand like this is a matter of soul. And we want to also say that each and every person is a leader. So while we do have folks who are kind of figureheads, we know that it is folks rank and file on the ground, and to ask yourself, what is the very next thing I'm willing to do beyond sitting here and being angry and frustrated? Last night, groups of organizations. So I also am the president of MICA, Memphis Interfaith Coalition for Action and Hope. And in Chattanooga, we have Caleb that does it. It's a Gamaliel Foundation. And in Nashville, we have Noah. And so we're doing work with them. But last night, BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color, and white folks of goodwill all came to my church. We had a session where we are strategizing and we are grieving the cruelty of this loss. And so we need to be careful to say it's hurtful because it's so cruel, and that these lawmakers who say they are Christians do not see the divine in other human beings. I should also mention Memphis is currently occupied by the National Guard. It's an illegal occupation, and what they are doing, running roughshod over immigrant people, Latino women who are picking up their children from school, putting them down on the ground on their stomach, putting their knees in their back, ICE officers. So this is a across the board cruelty, and what we have to do is say, when is enough enough? And so we know that nonviolent social action is to not internalize that, but to do something from where we are. So the culture here is, we all seem to, I was at a meeting Tuesday night, and it felt like everybody was glazed over, feeling like they had just woken up from a really bad dream, only to find out that the reality is worse than the dream. It's more nightmarish. But the good part of that is there were so many people who turned out who hadn't voted, who had thought that we won this fight 2 generations ago, and freedom is for every generation to fight anew. So what we have to do is continue to do these workshops and training, and have an interracial, interdenominational, generational movement, as you mentioned, Dr. Wood. And that's what we're doing. We're creating that movement from out of the top of the Mississippi Delta to go across to Nashville. Last thing, Memphis gets a bad rap. People are afraid of Memphis. I'm from Nashville. I used to be president of Nashville NAACP. I'm a Methodist pastor, so I got moved to Memphis because we practice itinerancy. And what I know is we can't be afraid of each other. And this idea of crime, there's a direct connection with poverty and crime. Tennessee has the dubious honor of hosting the 2 most economically poorest regions in the country, the top of the Mississippi Delta in Memphis and Appalachia, right? So while the governor thinks he's hurting Black folks by cutting that program, he's also hurting a lot of poor white children in Appalachia. And we've got to see that. I could go on, but I'm just going to let Sheryl go ahead.
Lord, preach, Pastor. Preach on Saturday.
Right.
We
That's
need
what
it.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. The information that we have to have. It's not going to just hurt us. It's going to hurt everybody. And when they think they're doing something to hurt us, what they're doing for bad, it's going to turn out for good for us, because all we have to do, look at everybody that's coming together. Just look at everybody that's coming together.
That's the Lord working.
But this is what needs to happen. You know, while they're busy doing this, what they're doing, we're coming together and strategize and getting ourselves together, because we're going to be a mighty fist to work with, to bother.
And that's right.
What they're doing.
Yes.
But I mean, again, when you have one person that struck a match and lit all of this on fire because you're so afraid, so you have to go and change the lines, and you have to go and change the gerrymander, all of this stuff that's happening out here. It's crazy, but it's okay, because all we're gonna do, we're gonna get busloads and busloads and busloads out into these rural areas. We're gonna go out into everywhere, and we're gonna mobilize. We're gonna register people. We're gonna put everybody. We all gonna be on top. I just feel we all gonna be on top.
And I want to give a shout out to Judge Elenora Woods for winning that election in Nashville. I have the honor of knowing her and her family, Dr. Mance and Miss Gladys Mance. That's their child. And I called her. I said, you know, Donald Trump had endorsed, and I might get in trouble for all of this, but that's okay. When you own the radio station, you take responsibility. This is not an endorsement or any statement as representative of WPTP. This is me, okay? So don't put WPTP in it. But I called and asked, first of all, I congratulated my baby. And then secondly, I asked, how did you do that with this endorsement on this Republican woman? And I will share this because I think it's important that we all know this. She said, we didn't run a traditional race. You know, the campaign manager wanted to run a traditional campaign. And I said, no, black people cannot run a traditional campaign. That works for white folks, but it's never really worked for black folks. And I said, well, explain that, break that down to me. She said, we work with our Jewish friends. We work with our Hispanic friends. We went to the radio stations. We had interpreters to interpret it. She got all the Hispanics, the Indian population, the folks from India, the Asian population, the LGBTQ population, and the black folks in the hood, outside the hood, above the hood, around the hood. Everybody was a part of this movement to get this young, pretty chocolate black girl that seat as judge in Nashville, Tennessee, with the endorsement of the opponent with the endorsement of Trump. So I want to say to those out there who are feeling like we can't do it anymore, they just have us bound down. There's no hope for us now. You know, there is hope if we work together. We are all God's children. That's what got us free. It wasn't black folks freeing themselves all by themselves. We had a coalition of people around us that helped us, that believed in God, that had the Spirit of God, and knew that it was ethically and morally wrong to do us that way. And the same people are still here, knowing that this voting right ruling not only was it unconstitutional, but it was unethical and immoral. And we're going to win this fight because we are 99%. That is 1%. So we're going to win, Pastor Caldwell, and thank you for what you're doing in Memphis. And not just Memphis, because you've came to Nashville. You all the way up here with Caleb in Chattanooga. By the way, it's a wonderful organization working in this community to free people that don't have the bail money and that kind of thing to get out of prison. These are some amazing people on the ground helping people that cannot help themselves. So I thank you for that. And I enjoyed your sermon. I say sermon in Nashville. We had our regional conference there. I think it was regional conference, state conference. I can't remember. But you are an amazing pastor. And God bless you.
Dr. Wood, I want to say one other thing. Thank you for having me. This is beautiful. And look, I'm talking about labor unions. We've got to support organized labor. Whenever you want a totalitarian government, you can see it in other nations. The first thing they do is weaken the power of organized labor because it serves as a stopgap. And so if you have people in labor, so we do faith in labor. I also do work with workers interfaith like network, and we work with, because most people who work are believers, right? They either are at a synagogue, a mosque, or church. And so we need to holistically understand we got to stop separating out. There are black
Amen.
pastors right now
Amen.
who have not said a word about what has happened because they think that
Amen.
somehow that they waiting for King Jesus and the great by and by yonder ways when
He
Jesus
already
said,
here.
he said, these things and greater shall ye do, right? Thy
Right.
kingdom come, thy will be done. Where? On earth. And so we just have to have the courage to just stand up, stiffen our back, look to the hills from whence our help coming, and take a chance. Because walking around on your tiptoes and afraid will not help you. You might as well stand up and fight for what you know. And the moment you begin to fight, you stop being a slave, because you can be walking around and think you are free. But if you are afraid of these systems and you're afraid of what they're going to do to you, find out what's the worst thing they can take from you and then work your way
Hmm.
back. But
I've
look,
heard that, Pastor.
yeah, and the cross is not those who are fearful of their lives, but only when you lay it down do you ever gain it. And so the time I
Hmm.
laid my life down about 30 years ago, I've been free ever since. And you can't kill a dead man or woman, no way, because I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless,
Amen.
I live, yet not I, but Christ who lives in me. So I gotta go now, but I want to thank you and just keep on keeping on.
I want you to spread that organization. Is it Micah? Is that the name of the organization? Can you tell us
That's
one more
correct.
time what it
Memphis
stands for?
Memphis Interfaith Coalition for Action and Hope. And
We're
so
gonna
it's
spread
a
that all
phenomenal.
across the country.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. And I
Yes.
got to go. Okay.
And I want to say one thing before you go, Pastor. I want to send the message out from the National Action Network here in Chattanooga, and I'm sure Sheryl and our other presidents that are in the other chapters will agree. The one thing that we celebrate with our kids is when they get their driver's license at 16 years old. We try to get them prepared for the license and help them study for the test. Let them cheat and learn how to drive in our cars on the back roads and things like that. But we have got to instill from parents the value at 18. Now that you got your driver's license, when you turn 18, you should be getting your voter's right, your voter's registration card. And then, even at 21, some of them want to go celebrate the first drink or whatever. They got something that they look forward to doing with their children. But we have not instilled the importance of getting that voter's registration card at age 18. So if you are out there listening and you have children, cousins, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, grandmama, granddaddy, uncle, auntie, cousin, people that are 18 and not holding a card, that vote does matter. Your vote matters. If your vote don't matter, then your life don't matter, because the vote is your key to freedom. You've got to have that card and you got to use it. You got to put it in the machine so you can withdraw out your freedom. That's my message right now to you and everybody else that's listening. 18. If you don't have a card, a voter's registration card, then you're not cool. You're not cool. You have got to get that card and do your part in society. We're going to preach that. We're going to preach that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Keith. It was good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right.
All right. Sheryl,
Yes,
here you go. Here you go. Here we go. The weight of the world, as I always would say, is on us, the people.
Yes.
And I know that you and I talk daily about what's going on in this state, not just in Tennessee, but in everywhere, Louisiana, everywhere. New York, you name it, we talking about it because it eventually affects us at our front door. Yes. And so, Sheryl, I want to thank you for being that courageous leader. You had the first NAN chapter in Tennessee. And what this woman has done took it upon herself to not just say, oh, we got a chapter in NAN, but she had the vision to say, oh no, we can't just have one. We got to have this all over the state. And she went out and she sought us to lead the chapters in this state: Nashville, Jackson, Tennessee, Chattanooga, and Knoxville. And we're going to continue to increase our number of chapters in Tennessee and all over the United States of America. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you because, you know, we both come from the NAACP. We still love the NAACP. We can't kick something to the curb because we're not involved with them at that level anymore. We just have to say God took us off the water and gave us the milk, the honey, the bread, the potatoes. Now we on state. And we still love everybody. But we both have a lengthy background with civil rights movement. And some of the things that have happened in other organizations, good or bad, has put us here with the National Action Network. And I couldn't be more proud to be with people like you and others who are pushing the agenda of civil rights movement for our people and other people who also struggle, whatever they may be struggling with in civil rights. It could be on the job. It could be, I don't know, it could be with you may be a Hispanic person. They may be trying to put you out the country. All kinds of things that people are dealing with that involve the civil rights, women rights, gay rights, all of these things, Sheryl, we are fighting for because it means that much to us. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I saw a need. I saw a need that needed to happen in the state of Tennessee because when I left the NAACP, I was still getting phone calls. People were still needing help. They was like, can you help me find an attorney? This is what they did to me. So I was like, okay, I have to do something that's going to continue the work that I've been doing all these years. So starting the chapter here in Nashville, I know if like right now, what's happening right now we can get Chattanooga, Memphis, Jackson, Nashville, we could get busloads of our members and our people, and people want to be a part of us. Just head towards to Memphis. And then we have other chapters all across the United States to come in on busloads, and we all come together. That's the reason why this is so important. And the stuff that's happening right now it's not a setback, it's a set up. It's for us to set up what it is we need to do and to push our agenda. And our agenda is we're not afraid of you. You can't do anything to us because this ain't new to us.
It's already done. We used to it now.
This is true to us. We ready for this. Look, we've been down so much where you can't kick us because we ain't down. This is our opportunity right now to bring everybody together and let them know you can draw all the lines you want. You can cut all the workshops you want. You can take all the funding you want, but you can't take me from me. You can't stop me from doing what it is that I do. And what we do is fight on the ground.
That's right. And God has sent us here, Sheryl. This is what people don't understand. When you are God's child or children, there is nothing you can do to come against God's children because he is the ruler of the world.
Yes.
And when you come against God's children, get ready for a fight that I don't think they are even ready for because they can't imagine the fight when you touch God's holy children. And so we are God's chosen children. All of us that work for God, especially for the little man, because he said in his word, and don't take the Bible and break it apart and try to pick things out. But he said it is our obligation to take care of the least of them. Because when you do for the least of them, you do as unto me. And when you hurt the least of them, you are hurting me. And so therefore, we know that God is on our side because they say we are the least of them. And so if we are the least of them, then you can't come against us because when you come against God's children, holy war is gonna break out. And
Yeah.
guess who's gonna win? Does anybody know who's gonna win? I
are.
know he's gonna win. That's right. And he said, touch not my anointed one. All of these pastors and folks who believe in the word and the Lord Jesus Christ, these are anointed people. Do not touch those anointed people. You'd rather wrestle with a tiger in the forest than to touch God's holy people. And we are anointed and we are holy and we are going to win, Sheryl. We're not
Yeah.
worried about it. We're not worried about it. We're not worried about it. So while they think they're getting away, just like the man in the Bible, he took and saved up all his money. He got all that stuff together and doing everything but worshiping God. Everything, just building up his wealth, millions and billions of dollars, and just sitting on his fat money. And then the night that he thought that he was going to rest and, on all these big piles of money that he had, these millions and billions of dollars, God came and took his soul. So while you out there working and saving up all your money, your millions and billions of dollars that you'll never spend, that you're going to send generations down that they may not even appreciate, remember, when you close your eyes for the last time and you are standing in front of God on the other side, because to be absent from the body is to be with Christ, what are you going to tell God about what you did? And no, don't say, well, I helped this person, I helped that person. But how was your soul? How was your soul? He don't want your dirty money. He don't need your money. So what I like to say to those who are out there who are really down and depressed, Sheryl, all of our sisters and brothers everywhere around the world, not just here in the United States, but all the way around the world, God is definitely in control of this situation. We are not afraid. We don't care, because I know a man that's got all the money in the world. When we want something, God takes care and provides for us, despite them trying to exclude us out of their budgets and all these other things that they do. God still walks up just in the nick of time. He may not be in your time, Sheryl, but he's always on time. He's an on-time God. He is going to take care of his children like you take care of yours. You see, so I know that the battle is already won because he said it in his word. He said it. It's already won. We are really basically going in reverse on a videotape, but the videotape is already ended. And in the end, he came out victorious and his children came out victorious. So y'all hang on in there. Hang on in there. And we're going to put these strategies together. We're going to be in your neighborhood. We're going to be having parties. We're going to be frying fish, chicken, registering people to vote. People who've been to prison that's got felony charges. We're going to show you how to get your rights back and get you back on the roll so you can vote, because it's not a sentence of death to your voting rights when you come out of prison. They don't know that. It's just a simple form, Sheryl, that they fill out. We've had many, many seminars on voting rights, restoration of voter rights. And we have the 5 people. We got the 5 people, don't we, Sheryl, in NAN that's getting people their voting rights back that thought they could never get it back.
That's right.
And if you don't believe what I'm saying, Sheryl, we've got a city council person who was our recently city council person that is a convicted felon, walked out of prison, got her rights restored, filled out that application, and became a city council person after that, right here in Chattanooga. So I can tell you, don't be dismayed, folk. You need to see a NAN representative. You can go on our website. The Chattanooga NAN website is chattanooganan.org, NAN.org. And Middle Tennessee website, Sheryl, can you quote yours?
It's www.nanmiddletn.org.
Yes. Call one of us, and I'm telling you, we're going to put you in the right direction. But we're going to be on the ground, Sheryl. We are looking for membership. We need folks to join that want to be officers. We have a few seats left for office positions in our chapters, and we are ready to fight. And you know what? Don't bring a butter knife to a gunfight. Don't bring a butter knife to a gunfight. Okay? We coming.
You were just talking about the students. A lot of our students are, they don't know. They don't understand. They don't really know what this fight is. And that's shame on us, because our children should know.
Free.
And
They were born free.
And they should hear our conversations, and we should be talking more about it. And we upset, oh, they taking Black history out of the schools. Who cares? So that's our jobs. We can do after school Black history things. We can do before and after and summer programs, but it's on us to teach our children. And bring us some more Justin Pearson and Justin Jones, and get them out there, because these people are afraid of them. And because they are afraid, that lets you know you're doing something right. If it takes them all this time to come in and take these seats from us, that means we're doing something right. They don't want us in this fight, but they're going to have to deal with us, because we're not going nowhere. And we're gonna change.
I like God has a sense of humor.
God
has a sense of humor.
We're gonna change.
It's people like us and our ancestors, Sheryl, that's got to see all the nastiness of Jim Crow era and fighting for civil rights. We know firsthand. And then comes along these freedom children. I'm gonna call them the freedom children. The children who were born with freedom, don't know nothing about sit-ins and walking across a bridge for freedom and getting their head busted, and some of them losing their life, and water hoses sprayed on them, and dogs turned. They don't know nothing about that. There's nothing more dangerous than a child born free that somebody tried to handcuff for something they did not deserve. It's something dangerous about that. That's the reason why they're afraid of Justin Pearson. These young folks are just hearing about it, but they were born free, and you can't take a person who's free and cage them back up without a real fight. So I want to tell our children, we're going to teach you how to fight. There is a way to fight that you won't get your head busted or your head blown off. There's a certain way to fight. Now, that's where our experience come in, Sheryl, as people who have fought for freedom, to teach our children how to fight for children. And children, young folk, millennial kids, XYZ, whatever you are, what generation you are in, the first thing you got to do is get your voter registration card. That's the first thing you got to do. You cannot go and fight a war without your gun. That's your gun. That's your gun. If you don't have your gun, that's that little card that they call a voter's registration card. If you don't have your gun, sit down. Don't come out here, because it's rough out here. So you got to get that first, and then with all your might, protect that. That's what we're doing right now. With all of our might, we're protecting that, because we know if our voter rights are taken away, which they done already gutted it out, now we got to fight for it again. They gutted it. Now, when I tell you they gutted it, they gutted it. They gutted it. But guess what? I know a God. Oh, hallelujah, Jesus. I know a God that's sitting high and he's looking low. And he's already put the plan in place. He already knew this was going to happen. Remember, he's the beginning and the end. He already knows what we're going through. This is a rough period, but we're going to come out victorious, because he got people like Sheryl, people like Pastor Caldwell, people like Miss Curry, Lurry, that's in Memphis and all around the country, Reverend Al Sharpton and other folk who are on the ground, attorneys who are giving their time, some of them pro bono, to make sure that a justice is done. We got folk that are educated, Sheryl, with the degrees, and some without the degrees. And they all fighting together for the same thing. And baby, that's power. That's power. That's power. Somebody said something about a person who is a civil rights activist in my hometown. And they said, Dr. Woods, you and this individual would be powerful if y'all work together. And I said, I respect that person. And you probably know we're not calling names. I respect that person. I respect the way she fights. I said, but everybody got to know where their lane is.
That's right.
The way Sheryl and I fight may be different than the way you fight, because some people can sacrifice, go to jail, get bonded out, and go right back to the same thing. Some people have professional licenses and things like that that have ethics and moral clauses in their licenses that can't get arrested for certain things, or they get their license put on probation, that kind of stuff. So everybody got to know their lane. That's number one in the fight. So the strategy is also about what's your lane? What can you do? What can you not do? You know, if you're on probation, you're not going to go out in the street and start fighting and get put in jail or start whatever they do.
So everybody has a purpose. Everybody.
Yeah.
What I can do, somebody else can do something else. And someone else can do something else. And that makes us all qualified. Because
that's right. Everybody.
We are like, I'm an organizer. So I'm not going in court to fight a criminal case because I'm not an attorney. So we have attorneys to do that. We have organizers to do that. We have litigations to do that. We have people that understands and write the policies that can do that. So everybody has a lane to get in. And that's why it's bigger than us. It's bigger than us. It's going to take us all to come out and do this.
That's right. Get those grills out and get those deep fryers out, y'all. You know how we do it. And get ready to have some of them parties in your neighborhood where the purpose is to sign up everybody in your neighborhood that's 18 and older to get their vote right. There is still time to register for the midterm if you have not. I forgot the cutoff time.
May 15th.
You know it, Sheryl?
I think you said May 15th.
Oh Lord, that's just right around the corner.
Because they done got the representative that's going to represent the 9th district, and so they gave them until May 15th, if I'm correctly speaking, to get their voting, making sure that they're able to vote and all of that kind of stuff. And
so May 15th is the new deadline to register for the midterm election. Is that right? Is that what you're saying? I just have my book in front of me.
Yeah.
But the point is, we got this week, y'all. And I don't know how far this, I'm going to try to share it and make it go viral. If you know your children are 18 and ain't registered to vote and you ain't registered to vote, you need to be making a ride or getting an Uber or something, or you can do it online. I know you can also register online now. You don't even have to get out your car. It's one of those lazy tasks. You can just be in your bed and click, 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 and you register to vote. So there is no excuse for us not being registered to vote. So that's our game. We're going to make sure everybody's registered to vote and get these people active, because y'all, you're in a fight. We are in a fight for our life.
Not only do we register them, we're educating them on elections. We have to make sure that they're going to the polls. So not only just registering them, we still have a lot more work to do once we get them registered. We have to get busloads and go back to those same people that we registered and make sure that they have rides to the polls, make sure that they're going to the polls, and make sure they understand what election are. And our local election is the most important elections that you could ever do. And if you don't agree with me, look what's happening right now. It's our local election that got us where we are right now. We have a governor that when he first came out and wanted to be elected, he came through the neighborhood. He talked to all of the people. We had our own Black men walking him through the neighborhoods and all kinds of stuff. He going to the churches. He doing all kinds of stuff. And once he got in that seat, he locked his door, changed his number, and told you, I don't like y'all, don't talk to me. And you know what he did on his second election? He didn't come out. He didn't have to. He got what he wanted. And that's why I tell you, we have to stop allowing people that's never been in our community, we've never had no communication with, we've never seen. We have to stop letting them come in there. We have to stop. Right. If we ain't seeing you in 2 years, 8 years, 4 years, we don't want to see you now.
That is right. And don't vote for people because of their skin color.
No.
All skin ain't kin, you all. Just leave that alone. Leave
Yeah.
that part alone. Yes,
Yeah.
we would
I mean,
love to have more Black folks, of course, because we're Black. But we want qualified folks that love our people and that love all people and is going to do right by all people.
that
That's
work
what we're
on
aiming for.
the same issues that we have, they have them too.
That is
And no
correct.
matter what color you are, it's just that you understand what my issues are and you're concerned about how we feel.
And stop thinking that you affiliate. This is for all my sisters and brothers. I have to say this. Stop thinking you are a MAGA or Republican because just because your parents said that that's what you were, or just because you think that's the way you ought to be, because it's more white folks or more whoever in this particular political party. Or stop thinking you're a Democrat just because you identify just with the values of Democrats. You know, look and see what the candidate is talking about. Right now, I'm gonna kind of hold my tongue a little bit because I'm kind of mad a little bit about, not a lot mad. I'm a lot mad about what's happening because I've got some good friends that are Republicans, and I have told them, you know, y'all messing up. Y'all are messing up. These are my people. You say you love me. These are my people, my grandbabies. They Black grandbabies. These are my people. They've got to live another life. I've almost lived all of mine, but you're destroying it for my children. You know, my legacy. Come on now. You know, and people have the habit of saying, well, my hands are tied and this and that and other. No, your hands are not tied. Stand up for what's right. Stand up for what's right. Or you're going to lose your race probably.
But
That's
listen,
what's happening all across the country.
even if you're so we had a school board race, and all of the school board members, they all came out and people voted for them and all of that. So they had an election not the election, they had a lawsuit that took place, and you're new on this board. You ain't been a part of all of this stuff yet. Why did you walk in and just agree just because everybody else agreed? We can at least have one person to say, well, I'm not going to agree. Because then that means you are your own person and you can think for yourself. But if everybody across the board all think the same way and all agreeing on some foolishness, then that to me is hard. That means
that's a problem.
Nobody is thinking for themselves. Everybody's doing what they want you to do. And that's not what you get elected to do.
Sure, that's what's frustrating a lot of voters is that they feel that, and I understand where they're coming from, but it's our job to straighten that out. That they all think alike and they all together like in a fraternity or sorority, and they are sticking together is what I call it, sticking together. But you have constituents that need you to think differently than the other folk, but you're sticking together. And that's the kind of stuff that causes people to be discouraged about voting. And so we are looking for candidates who can stand on their own 2 feet and that can voice their opinion according to what's morally and ethically right for the people that they serve. And if you can't do that, please don't get into the game. So we got a 911 going on right now. And I like what Nashville did. I like what NAN did in Nashville. People that were running for office felt like they was entitled to get the position again. But they had basically turned their back on their constituents in Nashville. And when they ran for the seat, NAN, National Action Network of Middle Tennessee, came together and they stopped it. And it took a lot of educating and going out in the community, having meetings and all those kinds of things to let the voters know, no, this person is not the one for this seat. They don't stand for you. They didn't stand for you, and they're not going to stand for you. They're bought, sold, and delivered already, and that person did not win. That's the kind of stuff we have to do. And it wasn't.
We wasn't telling them about which candidate that's not good. We just gave them a history on everybody that was running.
That's
good, bad,
correct.
or
We didn't
indifferent.
endorse anybody. We didn't
No,
endorse
we didn't
anybody.
endorse anyone, and we didn't tell them who to vote for because this person ain't this or that. We wanted to make sure that everybody had the opportunity that when you go to sleep at night, you can go to sleep and say, I'm satisfied with how my vote went. I don't have no issues or no problems. You don't want to vote for someone and then you wake up and you can't sleep and you say, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. You want to make sure that your conscience is clear with your heart and you make the best decision that you can make. And no one has the right to tell you who to vote for. No one. You
Right.
can't tell me that's my friend and I want you to vote for him. That's my cousin. That's my auntie. I don't care because that person might not have the same values that our community has. So you have to make sure you do your research on everyone. You have to
everybody.
say, you want me to vote for you? Well, I want you to come and have a one-on-one conversation with me and my family. And you bring all of your family, and y'all sit down and have that conversation with that person that knocked on your door and asked you for the vote. That's how we
Well said. Well said. And on that note, Sheryl, I just want to say that the National Action Network across the country is doing an amazing job of educating the voters about the candidates. They're having political forums all over the country. We had political forums here in Chattanooga. I know you had them in Nashville, they had them in Memphis, and all over the state. We are giving people the opportunity to learn who the candidates are. If you don't win your election and you didn't come to those candidate forums, that might be why. But my thing is, please understand who you're voting for. If you don't know the candidate, ask somebody, what's up with this person? And then make an informed decision as to who you want to vote for based on that information you receive about that particular candidate. I'm telling you, y'all, it's on. The house is on fire. The roof is gone. It's gone. The house is on fire, and we in the house.
Yes.
So y'all, wake up! Wake up!
Everybody no more sleeping in bed.
Yes, wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. Yes, the world has changed so very much from where it used to be.
Thinking. It's time to thinking ahead.
That's right. That's right. That's right, y'all. I love it, Sheryl. You know we're gonna be talking because we planning this home. I call it a homecoming, not a home going, a homecoming celebration of our illustrious leader to the state of Tennessee. Yes. And we're not coming to do nothing but to educate our people and get them involved in what's going on with their freedom. It's called freedom. I want to call it a freedom ride.
That's right.
Across the United States
of 2026.
2026. Y'all, we in a fight. We in a fight. Wake up. We in a fight. And with that, y'all know today is Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. You know, find your church home to go to. If you don't have one, you can always come to Greater Emmanuel Apostolic Church, where our senior pastor, Paul Warfield Jr., is our pastor. You will be welcome there. And there are many other places in Tennessee or across this wonderful city in Nashville and all that you can go to. And if you can't get to the church for some reason or another, you can always praise the Lord right there in your bedroom, right there in your living room, right there in your kitchen, because churches are now available virtually online, and you can listen to different preachers preach all over the country. But we want to let you all know that God loves you, and he wants to hear from you on a daily basis. He's that kind of God. He loves us. He wants to talk to us. He wants you to talk to him and give him that he asked for all that he has done for us, all of the blessings that we have. We still here, y'all. We still here. We gonna be here until he come home. And with that note, God bless you. I see Memphis is on the line. Did you come in? Is that Miss Patricia Lurry on the line? Patricia, is that you? I saw you pop up, girl. Where are you? I can't hear Patricia, but she did pop up. But
And I can
anyway,
hear
that's our illustrious president from Memphis, Tennessee, who's got a fight in her life down there in Memphis. They done brought in the military in Memphis and got them surrounded with the National Guard. And Memphis is where I went to dental school, where I met my husband, my children's father. And it was a wonderful place to be. I didn't have any problems there, you know. But we have got to fight for every city, every state in this United States. But they are having a fight of their life in Memphis. And y'all, we are praying for Memphis. We are praying for Nashville. Definitely pray for Chattanooga and other parts of Tennessee, because Tennessee is on fire. It is on fire, y'all. You ain't got to go to Iran. You don't have to go to the Strait of Hormuz. You don't have to go there. It's right here in our back door. Right here. So you know what? You know what? We're fighters.
That's right.
We're fighters, and we're going to win. We're going to win, y'all. Because I'm going to get on these knobby knees. Yeah, well, I'm going to get on these knobby knees till I can't get on them no more, and God called me home. And I have a real good relationship with God, so mess with me. Mess with me. It's somebody messing with me right now. You know what I'm saying? It's been many more thousands more before these individuals. Just keep on. You're going to see. Watch it. That I'm not trying to bully or scare nobody, but don't mess with God's anointed, holy, chosen people, because he got us here for a reason, Sheryl. He got you in Nashville doing what you're doing for a reason. You are one of his militant men, woman in the army, fighting on the battlefield for God. And can't nobody do nothing with God's military folk. He can't. You can bring the United States military. You can bring the Middle East military. You can bring Russia's military. You can bring all the powerful military folks around the world. But can't nobody mess with that military of God that we serve, because he gonna win every war, and it's already won. That's all we got to remember. It's already won, and I'm on the battlefield for God. I'm one of his men on his battlefield, and he got me cocked and loaded, and I know what to do with it, because he gonna tell me exactly where to aim. He gonna tell me where to duck, to move out of the way for a straight bullet. He's going to protect and guide me everywhere I go. And he's going to do the same thing for you, Sheryl. He going to move you to the left, move you to the right, tell you duck down, tell you stand up, tell you to move out the way, tell you go get lost for a little while and let him do some stuff and then come back out. God got the plan. You cannot mess with his army. And we are in the army for our Lord. You heard that song? We are in the army on the battlefield. And we holding up the blood-stained banner. We holding it up, and we gonna win. We've already won. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. It's gone. It's done. Thank you for coming on to the show today. I love you. Is there anything you want to tell the folks in Nashville? What y'all got going on up in the capital that's on fire right now? What's going on? Who's gonna put the fire out?
We're gonna put the fire out. We're gonna put it out. We don't need no fire trucks. We're gonna put it out ourselves. So y'all stay tuned. We have some dates and some information that we're going to be sharing. So just stay tuned.
All right. Y'all heard it from Madam Regional President and the President of Middle Tennessee. Oh, by the way, did you know that our governor is from Franklin, Tennessee? He was born and raised in Franklin, Tennessee. That's right around the corner from you, Sheryl.
Right.
He ain't from far away. He in your hood. He in your neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
we got a family business down there.
Yeah, so he have his family business Lee Company, and we want everybody to share it down.
That's correct. So these people are homegrown in Tennessee, and hopefully we'll be able to bring. I'm gonna say this now. I'm gonna do my homework. Sure, you help me. You and Miss Patricia. We would like to bring on the next governor wannabes on the show. That's Marsha Blackburn. That's the lady in Memphis, Atwater. And I don't know, I've heard maybe there's 2 more people want to run for governor for the state of Tennessee. But we want to bring them on and let them have their 30 minutes or 5 minutes of fame to tell the people what they're going to do. If they'll come on. Now, we've had we've had 2 political candidate forums, and I've been excited and at the same time disappointed. So we're going to give the opportunity to all of those individuals that want to run for governor, because the people need to hear from them.
Yeah.
They don't need to just walk in here and say, I'm endorsed by XYZ and I got it, and have secret meetings about how they're going to beat you in your head. Okay, come on, tell the world what you're going to do. That go for the Democratic candidate, Republican candidate, the independent candidate. It don't matter to me. I want to know what you're doing. We're all taxpayer citizens, and we should have a right to know what you got to do or what you gonna do.
Can we get Patricia on?
Patricia, we never did get her on. Okay, well, we might have to have Patricia on again to talk about Memphis. We're gonna try to reach out to her and bring her on, because that is where the real house is on fire. The house is on fire. We done moved out. They done did a clearance in Memphis and said, y'all move to safety and everything in Memphis. So y'all, our families in Memphis, we need to lift them up in prayer. I heard the pastor say earlier that there's other parts of Tennessee, the Appalachia, that we are going into the Appalachian. We're going to go and educate those people and get them registered to vote. Every one of them. Every one of them. We're going to the rural communities where they don't know what they should be. They just vote Republican because their mama voted Republican, or voting Democrat because their daddy voted Democrat. We're going into those neighborhoods and educate them and make sure they're registered to vote. That's our job.
Yes.
Give the information to them. Let them know what this candidate, what they stand for, what this candidate stand for, and hopefully they'll vote what's in their best interest, whatever that interest is.
Yeah.
And for now, I'm gonna go out because I done did my go to church sermon. Sheryl, last words, and then we out of here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us, and we appreciate you. And again, stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff that's about to happen. So just keep your neck in the woods.
All right, y'all. And with that, we'll see you next Saturday, same time. Be blessed.